Welcome back to another edition of the Geek Missile podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Randy Howell, and with me, as always,
it's Adam Dieringer.
There he is, my friend. How are you, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing great today, feeling refreshed and sparked, ready to go. My whole being galvanized into one explosive miasma, ready to go forward.
You know what? That was my bad because I asked him. There we go. Well, good to hear, man. We got a good show for you, and thanks for joining us. Thanks for downloading or streaming the podcast, however you consume it. We do appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk about the Disney release of Mulan, the re-release, right?
Yeah, the re-release. I mean, the original one was amazing, and now they just dropped the trailer for the remake, which has been a slew of Disney movies such as The Lion King, Aladdin, and Maleficent, which is an offshoot of Sleeping Beauty.
Yep, and Beauty and the Beast. I think that was a Disney one too, right?
It was, and that was fantastic. That one was really well done.
Yep.
I wouldn't think that... I think it was Hermione. Whoever played Hermione, I forgot her name all of a sudden, just completely sparked.
It's just Hermione.
Yeah, Hermione, we know.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, but she was in it, and it was really good.
Yeah, we'll get old what's-her-face. We'll never forget her. We're going to go over Castle Wolfenstein a little bit today, and you asked for it, guys. You wrote to us. You let us know. It sounds like you guys like the Would You Rather section, so we're going to do another one of those today. I'm excited. Let's get the show started.
It's time for the Geek Missile podcast, broadcasting from somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. Now, here are your hosts, Randy and Adam.
Welcome back. I'm glad that we have our studio audience rocking and rolling today. Let's bring some honor to this podcast.
Let's do it. Let's get on with the Mulan.
So when I saw this trailer drop, I was super excited because Mulan is one of my rinse repeat movies as a kid. Like, they're like, which movie do you want to watch? And I'm like, Mulan, a lot.
You like
so much
just
Mulan.
Watched it over and over again.
It was one of those. My sister was a mermaid fan. I was a Mulan fan. Not a little Mulan fan.
Well, smaller Mulan fan, right?
Smaller Adam, big Mulan fan.
There you go. Thanks for the clarification.
Explains my strong woman love. Any woman that's like independent, has a strong personality, I'm like, yeah, you go, girl.
That's it. So girl power.
Exactly. I've always been behind that train.
Tell me, so that's what you loved about it. It was girl power. It was that empowering girls.
It was such a huge thing to see because up until that point, most movies showed girls as like the damsel in distress. Even Disney movies were like they couldn't help themselves, and she was like, I'm going to go fight a war and do this, and like really break the mold. And I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I think it is important, that strong women are represented in the movies. And
I love the music. Like the whole movie, was about. I'm musically oriented for things like listening. I can't play a song at all in any way, but listening to it.
Well, you can play the radio.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah, you can play a podcast. So you can play something.
Oh, there you go. I could lend vocal talents.
Yeah, there you go. Well, cool. Have you seen the trailer? Did you watch it?
I actually need to take a gander at it.
You know what? I've got it pulled up.
Let's do it.
Should we play it for the kids?
Yeah.
All right. Here's the Mulan trailer.
We have excellent news. The matchmaker has found you an auspicious match.
It is decided. Come and sit down. It is what is best for our family.
Yes, I will bring honor to us all. Quiet. Composed. Graceful. Disciplined. These are the qualities we see in a good wife. These are the qualities we see in Mulan. It is my duty to fight.
She's kind of a badass, dude.
Right? Fantastic. I got chills, got goosebumps running up and down the arms and spine now.
Wow. Well, that looks like it would be a really cool movie. You know what I'm saying? It's wow. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that one.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go check it out, and I think that seeing it brought. I know that like I totally understand that that Disney and a bunch of other companies, like as far as games and movies, like with Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and the other ones. I know that they're like the nostalgia train will leave the station, and they're absolutely right. I do love to see these, and seeing them updated is really cool.
Right. They're updating Aladdin, too. They did that one with Will Smith, right?
Yeah, they did it with Will Smith, and from what I understand, people are actually pretty happy about it. Like the reviews from the critics, of course, because critics are always jerks about it, were, I think, in the 50s, and the audience poll is like in 80s and 90s, and it's because...
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the audience is still totally good with it, and they had to understand. The critics were like, "Oh, it doesn't have the same magic." I'm like, "Well, you can't just make Robin Williams appear again. Like, it's hard."
No, that's not going to happen. I wonder why critics are so snotty about stuff. Like, there was one guy. So I was in a band called Cringe, and we went to New Jersey, and we did some recording with this guy, and he had all these movies on this wall. It was just, I mean, he basically lived in a Blockbuster. He just had all these movies, but they were in these special little containers and all this kind of stuff. And I asked him, I'm like, why do you have so many movies? You know, how do you watch all these movies? He's like, I don't watch movies. I watch films. And I'm like, oh.
Had to make that distinction.
Oh, my bad. But I think that's the kind of rap that those guys get because they act like that, you know, like, I watch films.
It's art, and I mean, I appreciate the artistry in movies and everything that goes into it. But I also think that sometimes people don't remember to have that suspension of disbelief. Like they need to keep that. They're too grounded in. Well, that could never happen. Well, obviously,
right.
If we did things about just life in general, well, that's where biography books come from, and movies that are documentaries, and nobody.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird. I'm always turned off by people like that, you know, that are just snobs about stupid stuff that, you know, they don't have a reason to be snobby. It doesn't make sense, you know. But what'd you think of the Aladdin? Did you watch the Aladdin remake?
Not yet. It's on my list to get. I want to see it before it leaves theaters. It looks really cool. I saw if you're familiar with you've seen the animated one, I'm sure, right? By now?
Yeah.
The kids and everything. I assumed you had to have seen it.
No, I saw it.
And I saw Iago in the trailer for the live action one just as a huge bird just flying around, like smashing buildings as he flies around. And I'm like, that scene alone, I'm like, go Iago, get up, Kevin. No, I'm really excited for it. And also I want to see how Will Smith's rendition of it goes, because he said, and I really appreciate him as an actor for coming out and saying, hey, I can't fill these shoes. I have to do my own thing. Right. There's no way.
He's got to take it in a different direction because, trying to fill that would be, God, that would be so tough.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. It's one of those things where he had his own brand that you can't just redo. So
you can't.
I'm glad that he acknowledged that and wasn't like, I'm going to do it better. He was like, I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah. You know, beforehand you were talking about Beauty and the Beast, and, you know, you had some thoughts on that.
Yeah. With Beauty and the Beast, I thought it was amazing how well they got the core of the movie, because sometimes movies like Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent, a totally different thing, not even the same movie. But I was okay with that. It worked. But with Beauty and the Beast, it was like a visual, and I know it's like, well, obviously a remake, but it fit really well, and all the characters were so well cast that it felt like the movie had just a really fresh breath of life into it.
Yeah, it was cool. So I remember watching that, and the kids, you know, obviously the kids were younger, and we watched it. And it was a cool movie. What's her name? I can't. Jolie, Angelina Jolie.
Oh yeah.
I think she played that role really, really well. Like, she was born to be a very mean, wicked person. You know what I mean?
I mean, most her roles are very like scary, very tough woman kind of scary things I've seen her in most of the time.
Yeah, she just seems like she's brutal. Like, she could be brutal in real life.
You know, it's funny, they had some background knowledge on it. Apparently they had to go through like 5 or 6 of her kids, because most of her kids were scared of her in the makeup, but the one they got for the movie to look at her, who laughed at her and thought it was funny, was like it was one of her daughters. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was one of they had to try out all her kids because they were all like, oh no, mom's scary in this get up, and the other one was like, haha, that's funny.
I love stories like that. That's cool. Yeah, so And they redid the Beauty and the Beast, though, is what you said, right?
Yeah, they redid it. Like, you have all these famous scenes, like, you know, Be Our Guest and all these things, but the way they did the visuals for the Cogsworth, the clock, and for God, for the life of me, I can never remember the guy with the candle. His name always slips me. I always just can't remember him.
I can't think of it either. Yeah,
but their personalities were so on par. Like, they did really a good job. The guy who played Olaf did the little guy who hangs out with Gaston.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Once again, another name. I'm bad with names. They're French names.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, it's François Santé.
Is it Le Pou? And I'm like, I don't know. You know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can picture it, but
I'm like, Elle French toast. Like, I can remember things like that because
that's funny.
And Napoleon, because it's so close to Neapolitan ice cream. That's otherwise I'd probably forget.
You know what? Every time we do this, every time you bring up a food or you do something like that, it makes me think. Did you get your metformin today?
Actually, it's in my car, but it's my first step is as soon as we've podcasted a missile, I'm going to take that.
I told you, as soon as you wake up in the morning, first thing you do is you take that, and then you get to go have your morning pee. That's it. That gets you in that regimen. You got to take it every day.
I'm telling, yeah, because when I forget it, I feel awful.
I know it's falafel.
Not to be confused with French toast.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So we were talking earlier a little bit about video games and stuff like that. Have you played seen the new trailer for Wolfenstein Youngblood?
Yeah, I tuned into E3, which is I can never remember the abbreviation, but it's basically a bunch of us nerds doing games and things that are coming for the consoles, and I saw the trailer for it, and that's what inspired me to start playing the Wolfenstein games again, because I played the older versions, my older version in the 90s, which I played for Xbox, and I was like, man, I should play these games because it looks really cool.
So I'm going to tweak your melon here. Now, I was introduced to that game on an Apple IIe. It was just the green monochrome, I guess you call it, just a green screen. It was black screen, but your outline, your character, everything was just a green stick figure kind of thing, and that was how I was introduced to that game. So to see it go from that to what it is now it's amazing.
And I'm just trying in my head to picture the green and everything. I'm like, wait, how did you distinguish which one of the Nazis? I guess whatever you are that's not moving in relation to, just shoot it.
It's a Nazi, right? That's it. And so you're able to go through and blow up anything that's not you. So that's how I played the game. I just remember it being, it was fun. It was, something, here, Randy, go play this game while the grown-ups talk. So that's kind of how that worked. That's essentially my thing too. When I played Wolfenstein, that was when multiplayer was first getting actually good, where you could play with people online and it wasn't a pain in the ass to do it. And all I did was run around and heal people because I was a medic, and I would steal flags, or not flags in this one. It would be like Nazi plans. Like, you had to steal the plans from their building and then run out. And I found out I'm really good at sneaking in games. I tend to take paths people don't think about. And anyways, yeah, I'm super excited for the game to come out. When I first played that game back in the day, there was, I think you had a gun, and you had a certain amount of bullets, and then you had a grenade. And you had a certain amount of those. So, it's like the way the game was set up, you would walk to one side of the screen, and then there's a gap in the wall, and you would walk through that gap. That's your door. And then, you'd hear like this SS, stop, SS. And then you'd have to leave the room real quick. And sometimes you would trigger it so they would follow you, and then you would have to be ready to shoot them with your gun. If they didn't follow you, then you could go back into that door, throw a grenade and leave, and it would blow them up.
I like the idea of the Nazis seeing somebody run in. You're not a Nazi, and then but he left the room, so we're fine.
We're okay. Never mind, he's gone. False alarm. But it was. That was just the game. Let's do this. Let's play the Wolfenstein trailer. What do you say?
Yeah, let's see how far it's come.
Okay.
It's so much worse than I thought.
We'll drive the Nazis out of Paris, just like Daddy did back home.
No phone calls, no letters. He just vanished.
My agents informed me that he left the country under a false identity about 4 weeks ago.
What the hell is this place? Codename Blackbird? Paris catacombs?
That's your lead. He's in Paris.
You know, if we say something, they aren't going to do jackish.
Well, I guess it's just up to us then. Let me show you something.
Whoa. It's do or die. Just like Daddy told us.
Oh, yeah!
You guys are weird.
If BJ Blazkowicz doesn't want to be found, no one on God's green earth that's going to find his ass.
We got this, sis.
Have you ever killed Nazis before?
We were born to kill Nazis. Yeah! Can we make it? How the fuck did I
There you go, buddy.
Man, I am so excited. Like, I saw the trailer and then I was like, I should probably play these games again. And I started to play the first one because I'm in the first one and then I need to go to the second. And this, I understand, is either 2.5 or 3 in the franchise.
Okay.
And so now I'm starting to play it and I'm like, after playing the game a little bit and getting started and then seeing this, I'm like, man, this is going to be great. I am super stoked.
So here's where I went with this, and you probably saw my expression, but the vocal acting on that trailer, I instantly thought, what the hell is this? Is this like the Olsen twins? Yeah, come on, sister, let's kill Nazis. It was just like, it sounded really bad to me.
No, I get that. It sounded very cliche. So I always made fun of the Resident Evil movies because it started off, the first and second one were good, but then eventually she goes from being like, let's do this to let's do this. And like her voice gets deeper and deeper with each movie set forward.
I was just like, when they fell off the roof, are we going to make it? I don't know, but we're about to find out. It's just like, are you kidding me? What the hell am I watching? So, yeah, I just thought, well, they must have hired the Olsen twins to do this or something because it sounded pretty pathetic. It was just, come on, sister, let's just do it.
Not also, I want to point out, not the example. Like if you started skydiving and you just jumped out like, hey, are these chutes going to work? I guess we're going to find out. No, I wanted to know this before.
Oh, that was terrible, man. I mean, the trailer looked good, right? The video looked good.
Oh, visually amazing.
Yeah, visually it was great, but it was just the sorry.
I'm hoping that the trailer is one of those things where it takes all the highlights, but it doesn't show the full scope of like how how their personalities will play out over time. I hope it's not a bunch of one-liners because then I'll feel like I'm playing Duke Nukem where it's like,
right. That was the thing. It was just kind of like, it lost me at that. I mean, if you're going to do this, I want to see something, much. I want to hear. So I want the audio to be better. It was just, that was sad, dude. That was so sad. We need to bring ourselves up here a little bit. Have you seen Dune?
I mean, yeah, there's I played the original game with my dad. I'd see it. And I like the guy's face, how when you got hurt, you started getting more bloodied over time. And also the,
well, that's on the PC version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play the PC version, and I loved it. It was just like what you said. It was, but...
bullet squares to shoot people and blood here and there.
Yep.
But it was good.
What?
The movie wasn't good, but the games were good, and I'm excited to see what this holds, because I actually haven't caught the trailer yet, so I'm super excited to see how this goes.
Oh, you're kidding me, right?
Yeah, like I saw a lot of E3, but that was the one day I was at work and couldn't see the rest of it.
Should we play the trailer?
Yeah, let's go along with it.
What you interfere with now is bigger than you can imagine. If you continue, you will bring down the heavens' wrath. It is written. It is their time to give penance. You are but one man. They are no longer your people to save.
Dude, that looks awesome.
Wow, that looks really cool. I forgot how much blood and everything just comes out of everything in that game.
Dude, that game is freaking awesome. I am pumped to play that.
Oh, man, no, I am going to be just running around because I saw that he got it looked like he had a grappling hook. And I'm like, every time I can use a grappling hook, I'm just like, they're like, you're only supposed to use it for certain areas. I'm like, no, all the time. I'm going to grapple everywhere.
Oh, my God. That is a game marathon kind of day. We just set the day aside and just play that all day.
Just lock someone out, pouring in no popcorn. What I'm telling you to do is get a bunch of pizza pockets and pour them into a popcorn-sized bowl and just eat those all day.
Or why don't you order some pizza from the Pizzapipeline, call the guys up, say, hey, I've got a marathon gaming day. I need some fresh hot pizza. Or you can just do it online and save yourself 20%, right?
Exactly. And if you end up feeling like making a side trip to go down to the bar for example, get yourself some surf and turf pizza, which is just amazing.
Which is fantastic, yep.
Steak and shrimp.
We got to eat that here. They gave us that. They are a sponsor of the show, and they were able to supply us with one of those pizzas. I still can taste that pizza. It was so good.
I know. I was like, I have to stop eating this because otherwise I'm just going to go into a coma.
Yeah, a pizza coma, which is fine, but most people that eat it won't go into a coma. We have a special condition that will cause us to go into a condition or a coma. So, but yeah, the Pizzapipeline, best pizza ever. It's a great sponsor of the show, and we do appreciate those guys. Give those guys a call or just go to pizzapipeline.com, save 20% off your online order. We have one more ad that we got to do for you kids. We'll be right back. This is the Geek Missile Podcast.
Hey, Mac, how you doing today?
Not too bad, Guy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. What are you up to?
Well, I'm getting ready to order me a pair of Bestsuspenders from Bestsuspenders.com.
We got us a .com in the 20s?
You know it. They've been around for years.
Well, what do they got on there?
Well, I'll tell you, they got formal and they got casual. And if you're a hard-working fella, they even got suspenders for that, too. All made in the United States.
Well, I tell you, if they're good enough for President Hoover, they're good enough for me.
Well, he's got a pair, don't you know?
Well, they're not going to give me a pair right now.
Well, let's do it. Bestsuspenders.com. Support you can trust, you know.
Thank you, Mac.
You're welcome, buddy. I appreciate you guys going out there and visiting our sponsors. Remember, those guys are there whenever you need them, 24/7, and casual business, catering events, whatever. If you're a plumber, hard worker, whatever you want, they got them for all occasions. So visit those guys, bestsuspenders.com.
Look real snazzy for you, the people who like the hipster look, and also just hold your pants up better than a belt. I think belts are ineffective.
Well, crack kills. And we need to help rid the world of that. All right, so as you've requested, as we've promised, it's time for
Would You Rather?
Yes, the Would You Rather segment. This is fun. I love doing this. So, would you rather, Adam, have all the traffic lights you approach be green and never have to stand in a line again, or would never have to stand in a line again?
You know, I have to say, I think that if I had to pick one, I would go with the green lights, only because when I think about it, I'm like, when I think of the idea of going with like a water park, and I'm like, oh boy, I could go right to the top and slide down. I'm like, how many times would I slide down before I just left the water park? Like there's something about waiting in line with people and talking to them while you're waiting to get there.
Maybe builds that anticipation.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost, like if you went on a date and then the lady was just threw the dinner off the table, just like, let's have sex in the middle of the restaurant. You'd be like, wait a second, we didn't even get to talk. But then again, some people were totally cool with that, so maybe I'm alone in this. But for me, like when it comes to water parks and movies and things like that, I don't mind waiting in line for a little bit. But
so I think as we go back over the question, if you're waiting in line to have sex with a woman at dinner,
perhaps
there's probably a problem with that. So I would I don't know. I think waiting in line, if I never had to wait in line, if I go to the drive-thru and there's never anybody there, if I go to the bank and I don't have to sit there and wait for some guy to try to do some sort of hostile takeover through the ATM machine.
Grocery stores.
Yeah, it's like...
Touche.
Yeah, somebody with 16 items in the 15-item lane. I don't have to wait for just go through. So, and I think traffic lights are... I don't know. I don't seem to...
Maybe this is one of those things. Here in the Pacific Northwest, our traffic lights, I'm generally at a traffic light for maybe 30 to 40 seconds at a time. Whereas maybe if you lived in California or some congested city,
maybe
the green lights would be a more thing for us.
Yeah.
Because now that I think about it, I'm like, man, I would like to avoid lines at the bank and the grocery store, because I always get behind the coupon ladies with their $40,000 in coupons.
And then they want to write a check.
Right? Get out of here. Come on.
All right. Would you rather spend the rest of your life with a sailboat as your home or an RV as your home?
That's an important distinction, because when they say sailboat, I don't imagine a sailboat having it's not a houseboat. There's a difference. A houseboat has some luxuries and some amenities about it, whereas a sailboat, I just imagine a rowboat with a sail.
I see what you're saying. But what do you imagine when you think of an RV?
When I think of an RV, I think of one of those, not a camper, one of those ones you drive around and it's got like the hide-a-bed and the TV in the kitchen.
Okay. See, I went to the upper end on both.
Okay, so let's assume the upper end to give it a fighting chance then.
So, I mean, to be a sailboat, it just has to have a sail, right?
Touche, yeah.
So, look, they've got some really nice sailboats that are big, but you can still sink.
Yeah, that's kind of my... And although people can crash into you in an RV, it's much less likely... At least you'll live through that when you can walk away. If your boat sails like out in the, and you start sinking in the ocean.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with RV on that one.
If I had to choose between a cross-country road trip or a cruise on a sailboat, I would take the sailboat hands down, because it's fun to go. You probably won't die on one cruise.
Well, so even imagine those really nice sailboats where they set out for sail and they're decked out with all kinds of safety stuff. They got radios and fully stocked with food and all that, and it looks nice and fun, but you can't stop and get out and walk around. You can't.
You got to just patrol the deck of the boat.
And in your sight, what you get to see is kind of pretty much there's nothing.
That's true. You're just out on, you're just ocean and ocean.
Yeah, and you probably would get to see, maybe a pack of whales. What are whales in a school?
Yeah, school of whales, exactly.
I don't know, but maybe you see some whales come by. Maybe you see some dolphins come by. Maybe for adventure, there's a shark that you see, but.
I mean, we've all seen, not Lost. I haven't seen Lost, actually, but Castaway.
Oh, yeah, Castaway. But then there's that other movie. My wife just watched it, and I kind of came in the middle towards the end. I forgot what it was, but her and her husband set sail on a boat, and he got killed. And then she started freaking out, and she started thinking he was still alive, and she was trying to take care of him during the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
And she gets rescued, but then starts to figure out that he died a while back in the cruise.
I'm wondering if that's the twist at the end, and you said you came in at the end, you're like, oh, she must have known the whole time.
No, she didn't know. Yeah, it took me... I'm like, what? And so, yeah, it was a twist. It was a weird.
No, that's so yeah, sailboats and me. Like I like the fishing. I'll do a trip with a sailboat.
Well, okay. So I'm gonna pick the RV.
I'm with you on that. I think that's a safe bet for me too.
Yeah, that would be a nice one.
Would you? And so I come back with: would you rather give up all drinks except for water, or give up eating anything that was cooked in an oven? Oh.
Oh. So would you rather give up all drinks except for water, or give up eating anything that was cooked in an oven? Well, I don't really cook stuff in the oven. I cook stuff on my Traegergrill.
Not an endorser yet, but they could be. And I kind of feel you on that because I don't. It's stupid as it sounds. Everybody's always like, you can't say that. I'm like, I don't like water. I know they're like, everybody's like, how can you not like water? I'm like, because it's just so.
I've gone through 3 bottles of water just today.
I don't have that in me. If I had to drink just water, and they're saying just water, there's no, we're not talking like if I could drink tea, I might be able to make it. Like I could hack it with green tea and things like that. But with purely water, I would be screwed.
Well, yeah, it just says except for water.
Yeah, so that doesn't give me anything. Like,
well, I would think it's just water, just straight up
water.
Water,
I
right?
Couldn't do it. I could give up turkey that's been baked.
Yeah, I mean that makes Thanksgiving kind of a bummer, but yeah.
Yeah, you got a stove. We're deep frying turkey. That's what we're doing this year.
Okay, well we can deep fry it or smoke it, but like I said, I can cook it in my Traeger. I cook my pizzas in my Traeger. Again, not a sponsor of the show. Just saying, I love my Traeger.
I'd have to switch to George Foreman. They're like, wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because they're like, you can't bake anything. I'm like, wait, okay, so bread, I have to I don't even know. For bread, I just couldn't do bread. That was another thing.
Yeah, I would give up water. No, I would give up. I'm sorry, the other way. I'd give up cooking in my oven. I'd give up cooking in the oven. Easy. Done.
I can microwave pizza. I've done it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but see, like I said, I can get a not a sponsor, Papa Murphy's pizza and cook it in my Traeger, and I get that nice wood-fired pizza.
I would love to have your Traeger fired your grill for a pizza because I've never had grill pizza.
Oh, it's fantastic
at a home. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between going to a place and doing it yourself.
That's a different thing I got on YouTube. Spokane Barbecue Company.
Yeah.
There's no videos on it yet, but it's coming.
There will be.
There will be. Would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into the future or 10 minutes into the future of anyone but yourself?
I'm pretty selfish. I think I'd go for my own future because, I mean, most of the time, I don't think there'd be a use where I could see myself looking at somebody else and go, what's going to happen to them in 10 minutes? But for me, I'm like, I would like to know, 10 minutes in the future, see a bus hit me. I'm like, not taking that road.
Right, exactly. I think, so this comes down to more of a self-preservation superpower, right?
It does. Now, if you could see further into the future with seeing someone else, even if you could see up to 3 years in the future for other people, I'd be like, okay, I can scope for other people. So that's...
Well, it's 10 minutes in the future for someone else. So if you knew someone you loved was going to step off that street corner and get hit, you now have 10 minutes to get to their location to save them.
Touche. I feel like, but I'd always try. I know that with my luck, though, I'd forget to monitor that person.
Why do you keep bringing up O'Shea? He's not here.
Always in my hearts.
How many do you have?
A lot. I'm a worm. I actually have 9 hearts together.
Nice. I don't know. I think that one goes into more self-preservation.
I'd have to do it for myself. I know I don't have the memory to think about other people for 10 minutes at a time.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep.
Would you rather have an easy job working for someone else or work for yourself but have to work incredibly hard?
Myself.
Oh, all day. Just be your own boss.
Yeah, done. Hands down.
I feel like I actually live this life right now. Because my job is fairly easy. I have it for me, it's very easy. I don't have there's no mechanical difficulty for me in the job. It's more just that I have to be somewhere that I'd rather be at home, which is any point if I'm doing a job. Whereas something like this with the Geek Missile podcast, where we have to work hard at it to make it grow and do things, I enjoy spending the time. I choose to put the time into it when I'm away from the daily grind.
Right. And so I do this because it's something that I'm not forced to do. It's something that I want to do. right? Like working for somebody, I have to do it their way, the way they want it. Wear this clothing, talk like this.
Even when you don't agree, I worked for companies where they're like, "Hey, I don't think this is right. We shouldn't do this," and they're like, "Yeah, well, I'm your boss, so we got to do it this way."
Right, and so easy, hands down. I'd rather do it for myself. Let me tell you this: would you rather be the first person to explore a planet, or be the inventor of a drug that cures a deadly disease?
Let's see. For me, I think that I'd rather invent a drug that cured a disease, just because, it doesn't involve me trekking through jungles. Like, I think it'd be cool to see a new world. Like, that's totally something that would be something to really write home about. But I'd love to cure, like AIDS or diabetes or cancer, especially because I'd like to know that even if I died, at least I know people coming after me won't have to deal with that.
Well, you're either an explorer or a humanitarian.
I'm a humanitarian for sure. Like, I can't. Look at how many people we make fun of. We make fun of Columbus for discovering America and all the awful things he did.
See, and I agree with that. I mean, it's that's a tough one though, because I've sat and talked with my wife, like that Mars One project. Would you go up there, and would you be the first person to colonize, Mars, or whatever planet? I mean, although you're probably got a pretty bad life expectancy, I mean, you can't go to this planet and there's a mini mart and a grocery store and this is where you live and here's a car. I mean, it would be like a caveman all over again. You have to go out and hunt, a Gornak or, whatever animals, live there. I don't know. But I don't know how to do that. I don't know. So I'd have to cure a disease. And no hospitals either. Like, if anything happens, like, let's say you're trekking through the jungle and you catch your leg wrong or fall off a cliff, you got to drag your stupid broken leg through the jungle back to base. Right. And even then, you have to take care of it. There's no medical supplies. There's nothing there. So I'm going to go with humanitarian. I would just cure a disease. Oh, yeah. And then I would be revered as the greatest person in the world. And you could read the internet and see all those positive reviews about yourself. There's always going to be haters out there. Let's see. So would you rather go back to age 5 with everything you know now, or know everything your future self will learn? What? That is crazy. Yeah. I mean, either way, you've got a leg up on this, right? No matter what you do. And my problem is I'm a smart ass. And if I knew everything I knew now at 5 years old and had to redo it, I would get in so much trouble. I know, right? I would have been such a jackass. I would correct my teachers and all the time. I would also, I got to be honest, I'd be real shifty. Like, I'd find out, like, if I found out, like, hey, this is going to be an important stock, or this is going to be this, like no insider trading to prove. I'm like, he magically knew that he needed to stockpile this stock. I know. If I go back to when I was 5 and I just stockpiled my allowance and said, Dad, I need you to open an account. We're going to buy this thing called Microsoft. I just need you to buy a bit of stock in it. We'll be good. Or Apple. Right. Or both of them. Wow. That's a tough one. I mean, because think about it. 5 years old, if you knew what you knew now then, you'd be bored out of your mind. Right. But in your spare time, instead of riding your big wheel, would you be 5? You'd know what you know now, but would you still have the attention span of a 5-year-old? Would you still want to... Would you still have the inclinations of a 5-year-old? Like, would you still think, Wow, that's a tough one, isn't it? And would your parents notice the difference? Like, yeah, all of a sudden you accelerated from 4 to 5, like you're 5 years old, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, you're just like, Mother, I don't think I would like that. That sounds disgusting. And wow. Blockbuster Video is going to go out of business. And think about this too. We haven't went down this avenue. Or know everything your future self will learn. So all of the information that you're going to learn from here on out, you'll know it now. And speaking from where I'm at in life, I still could probably have another. Ooh, you know what though? For me, I don't know. My question, like, if they just said Guy was a genie just holding this question up to me immediately, like right now, he's like, boom, choose, you got 10 seconds.
I would have to go back to 5 because I don't know. What if I don't live that long? What if I only live 2 more years and that's all the knowledge I get?
Oh, right. And that's it.
I can speak to the fact that I am, 29 and 24 years of knowledge in my 5-year-old brain would be pretty significant right now.
Man.
But if I live to 80, I got 60 years I got to gain now.
Right. So you don't know.
But I think I could work within the past knowing things. Like I would have grown my YouTube channel ahead of time because then our Geek Missile podcast could launch even stronger in the future.
Yeah.
Because I would have already had a platform.
Yep. And then I would also make some other choices because I know now, or I would know everything that I know now when I was 5. So I would probably be in much different shape. There's a lot I would do. Yep. So I'm going to say 5-year-old.
I would have eaten a lot less McDonald's. I would still be looking good. Still have my high school bod. Maybe.
Well,
self-control didn't change.
Yeah. I know what you mean. So I would say the 5-year-old thing. All right.
Would you rather be able to control animals, but not humans, with your mind, or control electronics with your mind?
So you can control animals with your mind, or control electronics with your mind.
Yeah, but basically, are you feeling that druid vibe thing going on, or would you have more of a cyberpunk thing?
I would probably have to say I wouldn't, because I don't need to control animals. But if I could control electronics, I just deactivated the alarm system in the bank. The vault doors are electronic, aren't they?
Yeah, no, and
surveillance system went down, and I just walked out with all the money.
Yeah, even ATMs, you could do it that way. All the video cameras stop working, and all of a sudden the ATMs just unload all their cash right onto the ground.
So I would say electronics for me.
Yeah, I can't think of, unless it was a survival situation, like if it was suddenly I was in the Hunger Games, then I would probably want the animals because then I could make birds attack people and things like that, and I think that could be.
Well, yeah, but if you're electronics, you can also, depending on which Hunger Game you're in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely kind of control different. Yeah.
Just make a lava pyroclasm happened at some point in one of those movies.
Yeah, that thing.
Like whatever that was that melted people. I was like, that'd be handy. You could use that.
Yep. So I would say electronics on that one.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm there with you. I think being able to, and it's terrible. We were like looking into our soul, and they're like, man, these guys would take a lot of money if they could.
Yeah,
we could. So we could fund a better Geek Missile podcast with a sky tower. That's what we wanted.
That's it. That's funny. Well, let's do this one. Would you rather have unlimited international first class tickets or never have to pay for food at a restaurant? Oh, no brainer.
Oh, yeah. Food. I'd chubby all day.
Yeah.
I would just, everywhere I went.
Yep. That's, yours is food?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Oh, mine's travel.
Is it really? Oh, no.
Yeah.
I would just travel even the States just grabbing food everywhere.
Food's not that expensive. Yeah. But you want to fly to Italy?
Oh, touche.
That's a lot of food. Why do you keep bringing up O'Shea?
I would like to see Germany again, so there is that. But then I'm afraid I'll get there, and I'm like, but the food, but not so expensive. Because flights anymore, a couple $1,000s for some places.
Right, but you're never going to pay a couple $1,000s for a bratwurst.
Probably not. But what if you want to go to some fine dining establishments like Gordon Ramsay's Hell Kitchen?
Great. So you pay $100.
Oh, there you go. But you still get to fly to California or wherever without any trouble.
Yeah. I mean, hands down, first class international tickets every single time.
And you get free meals.
On first class, you do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Nope, you win this one. I'll take that.
All right. Yeah, that one's easy. Let's see. Let's do one more, and then we're done with that.
Let's see. Would you rather see what was behind every closed door or be able to guess the combination of every safe in the first try? That is a weird one because I'm like, in the days of those old game shows, they're like, if only you knew what was behind door 1 through 3, then obviously being able to see behind every closed door. And I mean, there's some other uses you could get if you were of the preverted manner, like I'm going to go change into something more comfortable. Go ahead. Just be sure to close the door.
Right. All right. So, so that's, well, if you could open every safe in the first try, God, I mean,
Once again, go back to our chaotic roots, because there's nothing you could use. I guess if you're helping like the FBI, like, oh no, we got to get into this guy's safe house, but we can't get the safe. I guess you could use it for good, but I feel like you would use being able to open every locker / safe combination as we'd call it chaotic means. Like,
well, it says guess the combination of every safe on the first try. So fiscally, you would make out if you were a bank robber.
Oh yeah, you'd be set for life. They'd be like, oh well, whoever did it just walked in with the key code. So it had to be somebody who worked here.
That's crazy. Well, cool. So I'm gonna say, but I like your thought on, being on game shows and what's behind a door. But what if you're playing a game where there's no door?
That's where the issue starts to come in. Is I don't see any game shows that have guess what's behind this door anymore. Like,
other than what's that one with Wayne Brady?
Oh, I don't remember it offhand.
It's a remake of an older game back in the day. Door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3. And remember, there could be a zonk or whatever. I can't think of the name of that. Let's Make a Deal. That's what it is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that game show has it. And you could win stuff, a car or a motorcycle or whatever, trips.
There you go.
I mean, that would be fun.
If you get elected to go, if you can get on the show.
Right.
That's
but
the hard part.
You start looking at Price is Right. I mean, I don't think there's too many doors there.
No, I mean, really, the door thing becomes you can be a prevert here and there, and you can check your door without using a peephole because somebody comes to your door and you just go, aha, I can see you on the other side of this door.
Yes, and we don't want that. Thank you. Bye. I mean... But I've got a Nest door system too, so if someone rings my doorbell, I can see.
Technology has outdated some of the ability to look behind doors. I guess I'd have to use the safe and just hope that there was a reason to use the safe.
I'm going to go with safe. That's mine.
That's a safe bet.
Awesome. Well, that concludes Would You Rather. Yay! Is the audience happy that we're done with it, or that they're excited that we're whatever? I don't know, but.
I'm still going through the fan mail of the people who said they wanted to see it again. So,
I
think
I'm going back to that too. And we appreciate that. Folks, that wraps up this edition of the Geek Missile podcast. We thank you for listening, for joining us, for being a part of our day. We hope that you enjoyed this. We wanted to bring you something that we hope is entertaining to you.
Truly our favorite people, and we love you.
Yes, and we're talking to both of you that have listened to this, so we appreciate both of you. Just kidding. Have a great night, folks, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you again.
Good night.
This has been a Geek Missile production, and it was almost professional. We thank you for listening.